everyone. We're back again with the CareCast, and today we actually have a guest. If you don't mind introducing yourself first.
Yes, my name's Greg Trock, and I'm a social worker for the El Paso County Attorney Protective Order Unit.
Awesome. So how long have you been working there?
So just about 4 months now.
4 months.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part about your job role there?
So I think for me, the challenge of being the only social worker in a law office is probably one of the more interesting aspects and favorite aspects of it. Just kind of getting to be able to really carve out my own mark within the office and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, that's great. Can you talk to us about the work you do when supporting the community?
Sure. Let me preface that by saying the office itself mostly consists of lawyers and paralegals, and so the protective order unit, the county attorney is an office that provides a number of different services to the community. So we deal with fraud and noise complaints, and there's some other departments. One of those departments is going to be my unit, the protective order unit. So the protective order unit is a unit that is basically responsible for evaluating and taking to court petitions for protective orders in the community here in El Paso, primarily in cases of like intimate partner violence. And so that's a lot of what we're working with. So that's the service that the office provides. And along with that, so we provide legal representation in securing those type of orders, okay? And these are community services that are free, and you have to have your case your claim evaluated by an attorney, and then once it's accepted by the office, we'll represent you if there's grounds to do that. So that's what the office itself does, and then my part within the office, because we recognize folks coming out of intimate partner violence relationships may be struggling with various accessing various resources. Frequently they have been in long-term relationships, and so they might not have the means to come out safely from a relationship or with the resources to do it on their own. And so primarily what I do as a social worker within the office, it's really kind of a threefold process that I do with individuals. I first evaluate safety. Okay, so we want to take care of the basics first. And I first want to make sure that their safety needs are met. So that could involve kind of looking at assessing the risk level there, coming up with a safety plan. And so we get a wide range of situations you can imagine. I mean, some is very active threats that are ongoing. Some people have separated months or years ago, and so sometimes we have to get people out of the house right away. Sometimes they're in crisis shelters. Things we have to have them coordinated with crisis shelters and things like that, depending on the level of active threat that's going on. So first we're making a plan there. The next thing we're going to do is kind of assess what's called a biopsychosocial assessment in the social work world. It's sort of looking at that person in their environment, evaluating their individual circumstances, so to speak, along their health, their mental and physical health, developmental needs like childcare needs, custody needs. You can imagine there's a lot of challenges people might be facing, particularly in El Paso. And so we are sort of I'm sort of acting as the liaison of the go-to to get people into the right places when they're coming out of those situations. So I offer assessment in that respect, and then linkage to resources. And then finally, I also offer some brief counseling. I use solution-focused brief therapy, which is sort of a current and forward-facing type of approach to counseling. And that's sort of the three-part approach that I take with everybody that gets accepted to our office.
Great. So it's a lot of guidance in that way of, providing that sort of assistance, right, on your part compared to more of like the legal aspect, sort of just evaluation.
Right. So a lawyer looks at the legal grounds and they're kind of concerned with the court outcomes,
yes.
But we recognize that with intimate partner violence that there's a lot of other science behind it that shows that there's a lot of risk factors that go along with that. So depression is very common coming out of that. we need to evaluate for the other issues that might come up, and there's a number of things that can come up in that transition. And so yes, I sort of am the sort of trying to shepherd people through, because it can be very overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And especially if you think about if you guys have ever heard of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like first you have to take care of your food, your water, shelter, and then the next thing up is safety. So like if back in the ancient days, when a lion was chasing you down, like you couldn't be focusing on much else. So it's kind of dealing first with the immediate threat to your safety. Yes. And then we're and because of that being so overwhelming, I'm kind of helping people out of that to make sure that they're they have the right guidance and resources, information that they need, support that they need.
Absolutely. So going into that, why is Sexual Assault Awareness Month important for you and your agency with what you do?
So for us, it's important to let people know that we're there and what we do and that we're here. I think that people might often feel stuck in that situation and feel like there's nothing that might be able to help them. And so we want people to know that we're there and that they certainly don't have to tolerate that kind of abuse either.
Absolutely. So what kind of support of systems are there from your department as well?
So generally, for me, it's kind of to go back to that process again, the way that I'm as a social worker, and as a government agency, I think we have to provide a pretty equal process to everybody in the community. Yes. So that's just something to keep in mind. Our process is pretty much our process. And what we do is we try to make it as supportive for people from a legal aspect, like as attorneys, and doing the court process. Are we efficient in that? And then at the same time, making it as emotionally supportive and in terms of the other biopsychosocial needs that come out of that. We want to have we want the applicants to get as supported as comprehensively as possible. And so I suppose what I am kind of part of that, and everything we do, I hope, is supporting that.
Awesome. So I know you said you have a lot of demographics from 20 to 59, you said, women basically? So,
we work with people of all ages and all genders. There's no boundary or limitation there. But yes, primarily applicants tend to be 25 to 59 years old. We have a number that are in the 18 to 24 range. And so they're primarily coming out of family violence situations, sexual assault, or stalking and harassment issues.
So what resources or programs do you offer specifically for college students who may be victims of crimes or have experienced traumas?
So I think as a social worker, I'm offering connection to the right types of resources with my assessment. So I think that I'm one person in out of this whole office. So what I do is dedicate most of my time to trying to make sure that people know what's available to them. And in being a victim and having those type of circumstances, I can guide you in terms of getting the right to the right places. So I think it's not that there's stuff that's necessarily specially out there for UTEP students, other than I think the fact that if we become aware that you're a UTEP student, you have resources that are available to you that go above and beyond a lot of what the other clients that I work with might have. But so it's sort of it puts us in a position where we can have open lines of communication between our office and UTEP CARES, and really sort of making sure that we're getting people fully supported. So I would say what we do is we really kind of make sure that you have all the support that you need. And so we're going to, with UTEP, I think too, you get me. So it's kind of like I've been through plenty of university experiences. I've been through, relationships. And so I'm somebody that, I hope that I can be somebody that you can talk to in the situation that would be able to help you feel supported through that. So
awesome. So it's more of like helping the students in the sense that they can connect with us as well, and we can connect them to you guys to sort of make sure that while they're going through that legal process, they're also, you know, not falling behind in school or working out any other problems they have with us. We can help them with them financially.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as far as the advocacy, I mean, if we need to make it, if we can be very flexible in terms of helping and supporting and making sure that your needs as a student are certainly addressed too, and making sure that we work together to support you through all of it, and so that you can still pursue what's important to you and not feel like you're gonna miss out because you reported this happening to you.
Absolutely. So why is it important for anyone to come forward with their experience?
Well, I mean, it's something that it harms your health. I mean, so from a health standpoint and a wellness standpoint, if you're experiencing that, it's just, without giving too much of a personal opinion on why I think, I mean, I just kind of want to default to sort of some of the science there and say, like, I mean, this puts you at risk for all kinds of stuff, for your health and for your well-being. And so, first of all, I mean, you owe it to yourself to be in a relationship where, you know, where you're not getting treated like that. And so I think that's why it's most important. It's for your own well-being, and just so that you know you're worth more than that, you know. So that's what we want to really get across.
Definitely. Can you discuss any partnerships or collaborations with local or national organizations that enhance your capacity to serve victims and survivors?
Yes, too. I mean, so far, I mean, our main partner is CASV here, the Centers Against Sexual and Family Violence. We work with them very often with our clients, and they're kind of a one-stop shop here in the community. So if you do end up talking to me, I'll probably mention them and recommend them as a crisis resource. And you're certainly welcome to look them up yourself at CASFV, and you'll find them here in El Paso, and they have a crisis line that you can call directly to as well, and they'll even put you in touch with us. But that's our main partner here, I'd say, in town.
Sounds good. So what is the message you want to send to the UTEP community in this Sexual Assault Awareness Month, supporting victims and survivors of violence?
Just want to get the point across that we're here, and that, you know, even if you're not sure what to think about it, you guys can talk to me, and before you even do it. I mean, I'm here to listen to you. I know this is just a podcast, and it might be a little clunky because we're just having like an interview and I'm trying to answer questions, but I just want you to know, like, you can call me and I'll talk to you. You don't have to do it. Like, if you just want to know things, just call our office and ask questions, or you can ask to talk to me, and no question to ask. No, you know, it's all confidential as well. I mean, everything we talk about, it's HIPAA protected, and it's what I do. It's kind of separate from your case too. So it's like, if you feel like you need to talk outside of, like, with a lawyer, you can kind of go through me first, and I'll answer your questions in a different sense.
Awesome. So what is one takeaway that you want the audience to take from this podcast interview? Another thing we did, I mean, I think hopefully that said a lot for you guys, but just the last thing, just make sure, if you do want to file a protective order, just go to epcounty.com/CA. On there, it says protective orders. The easiest way to file is now online, so I'm sure most of you guys are savvy with that. If you do want to file, just go to the El Paso County Attorney's website, and then on there you can just fill out a questionnaire, and we just kind of take it from there. Sounds good. So how can we as a campus community support your department and agency as well?
So when I thought about this, I think just being there for each other is really what I want you guys to do, and it might be just be able to talk to each other and be supportive of each other as a student body. You know, you can get caught up in your schoolwork and caught up in life and what's going on. Just be good to each other, and try not to let anybody get caught up. If you notice somebody who's like getting isolated, or maybe a little change of their behavior, you know, maybe go reach out and support them. And if you find out, maybe it might not be that they need help from us, but it might be just that they need help in general. And so you can be that person to sort of get them to let them know what's there to help them.
Absolutely. Well, that was the last question. So thank you so much, first of all, for joining us here, Greg, and providing these awesome resources and the information from what you guys do. Thank you for what you do as well. And thank you to everyone who's listening to this, and make sure to tune into the next episode.